Much peace to you guys and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's topic is about the fact that your choices create ripple effects in future timelines. Okay, now what does this actually mean? It means that your actions have an effect on your future. Okay, your choices have an effect on your future. And it's all about the principle of cause and effect. Okay, whatever you do, whatever you feel, whatever you think, you actually create an effect onto the world. Okay, so realize that whatever you are doing now actually influences your future. And it doesn't only influence your future, it also influences your past, because past, present and future are actually happening simultaneously. So it's all about the consciousness that you're actually having in the present moment. I'm not sure if you have seen the movie Interstellar, and it suggests that in the fifth dimension, time is actually simultaneous. Okay, so whatever you are experiencing now actually influences the past and the future simultaneously. Now, if you take responsibility for what is happening within yourself, and if you go within, if you are choosing high vibrational actions and thoughts, you will actually create a ripple effect in your future timelines. Okay, so what I'm realizing in my own journey is the fact that we are actually the co-creators of our own reality. Okay, we are the ones that actually attract everything into our own lives. Now, this may be positive or this may be negative. It depends on the vibration that you're actually finding yourself into. Okay, so karma is a negative action, but dharma is a positive action. Okay, so what do you choose today? What do you choose to actually focus on? Do you actually choose to express love into the world, or do you choose to express a low vibration? Okay, and I'm seeing within my own self that we always have a choice. We always have the ability to choose what we want to express into the world. And by the principle of cause and effect, it will all return into our own lives and even in our states of consciousness. Okay, so you have to understand the principle of giving and receiving. Okay, and what I'm seeing is the fact that so many of us, we only want to get, but we actually forget about giving. Okay, and someone said that you cannot have what you are not willing to give. So if you want to experience abundance, you have to operate as abundance. You have to offer abundance. You have to change your state of consciousness into abundance. If you want to experience love, you have to give love. Okay, so whatever you offer will actually return to you. And it doesn't only return in the external world, it also returns in the internal world as a state of consciousness. So today's message is about making you guys realize that you have a choice in how you want to build the life that you want to experience. Okay, and the more that you realize that you are the creator of your own life, you realize that it's actually it's time to actually take responsibility. Okay, it's time to be responsible for your actions. It's time to have self-control. Maybe it's time to start not reacting but responding. Okay, and as within, so without. Okay, so whatever is happening within your own state of consciousness will actually attract the outer world. So go within, meditate more, move into your body, have highly conscious thoughts, and realize that the universe always responds to you. Now, what I'm realizing is the fact that we gotta make the choice that feels good in our body. Okay, we gotta make the conscious choice of creating love into the world. This is really powerful because I believe that love is actually the force that governs the universe. So when you shift your vibration into the vibe of love, you realize that you are actually connected to everyone and everything. And really, love is a high vibration. Okay, so deep down in our essence, we're actually good, we're actually kind, we're actually positive. Okay, now don't get me wrong, when I'm saying be positive, I'm not saying to deny your negativity, because sometimes you may feel depressed. So if you are feeling depressed, be depressed, but also give yourself a schedule. Okay, so you have to learn to really alchemize what is happening within yourself. You have to learn to dance with all kind of emotions, with all kind of thoughts. And what I'm realizing is the fact that we always have the power to alchemize our emotional field. Okay, and really, you have to have conscious thoughts and conscious actions. Okay, I'm seeing that out of nothing comes nothing, but out of offering something into the world will actually come abundance, will come a new state of consciousness, will come purity, okay, and higher consciousness. Okay, so realize that in essence you are attracting things into your own life based on the thoughts that you are having, based on the feelings that you are experiencing, and based on what you choose to express into the world. Okay, I've seen my own journey that when I was negative, I was actually attracting negative. But the more that we learn to find the balance, the more that we learn to transmute and transform the energy, it's like we have the power to manifest at a more harmonious level. Now, if you want to manifest, remember that you don't have to be perfect in the process. Okay, you don't have to be perfect in the process. It's all about taking the small steps. It's all about taking the first step, you know. So start with something small. If you want your life to change, you have to change as well. So start with something small. Start with something that makes your heart smile, even in the smallest way, because that can have a ripple effect in your future timelines. Now, what you also need to understand is the fact that there are cycles in life. Okay, there is a cycle. There is a way in which nature works. Okay, there are 4 seasons. Okay, so realize that everything has its own purpose, and in your darkest moments you actually become illuminated. You have to also understand maybe a negative period in your own life. You don't have to rush the process. You have to understand that there are cycles in life. Sometimes you may feel good, sometimes you may feel bad. You have to accept both. And what I'm realizing is the fact that when we get to accept a negative feeling, it can actually be transformed. Okay, so have patience with yourself, love yourself, super important. Love yourself, take responsibility, and realize that maybe also in your negative moments you have the opportunity to actually learn. Okay, in your darkest times maybe you are experiencing the biggest lessons. Okay, so realize that it doesn't have to be perfect, but you have to really get to understand yourself. You have to learn to love yourself. And when you do this, you realize that your state of beingness is the most important thing that you can actually focus on. Okay, because getting to know your soul is so important. And the more that you get to know yourself, it's like the universe responds to you, because the universe is intelligent, and in essence you're actually connected to everything in existence. And the more that you learn to really get to know yourself, it's like you have the opportunity to go deeper in your state of consciousness. You have the power to question how things are working. Okay, and I believe that there are principal laws, there are principles, ways in which there are universal ways in which consciousness works. Okay, and your consciousness is connected to these principles, so you have to become responsible. I no longer project my negativity into the world, because I'm realizing that I'm only doing it myself. Okay, so I'm taking responsibility, and whenever something negative happens, I just say go and be in peace. Okay, go and find peace. Inner peace is the highest bank balance. Okay, if you don't have inner peace, you cannot have a healthy relationship with life either. Okay, so yes, have a conscious choice. Have a conscious choice. Be in alignment. Take care of yourself. Find little ways to open your heart to the vibe of love. Okay, love is the force that governs the universe. Raise your vibration. Raise your energy. Okay, and realize that whatever you are doing now influences your future timelines. And again, there are cycles. You don't have to expect yourself to be perfect. Maybe there is a timeline when you are feeling negative. Maybe there is a timeline where you need to have more patience. Maybe there is a timeline where you're actually manifesting and having a great time. Okay, so there is polarity, there are cycles. There is the left and there is the right. There is the within and there is the without. Okay, there is the above and there is the below. You have to find balance between these things. Okay, so take conscious action now. Have conscious thoughts now and see what happens. Okay, so yes, I'm realizing that we attract based on what we think, what we feel, and what we do. And what I'm also realizing is the fact that it's not necessarily about struggling in this process. It's more likely about finding the balance and the flow state, because I believe that deep down in our nature we're actually effortless, but sometimes we are getting caught up in low vibrational habits. Sometimes we are getting caught up in negativity. Sometimes we are getting caught up in limiting belief systems. But the more that you become aware is the more that you actually have the power to transform everything into your own life. So yes, this is today's message about the fact that your choices create ripple effects in future timelines. Okay, take responsibility, go within, express love into the world, and have a vision, have dreams, and you will see that the universe will actually respond to you. So if you're new to my YouTube channel, feel free to subscribe, leave a comment, you're appreciated for that. And if you wish to work with me on a one-on-one level and really get to know your spiritual nature in a deeper way, feel free to contact me at my email address in the description below. Guys, thanks so much for watching, and like always, see you on what is coming up next. Much peace and see ya.